Grab your audience's attention on Zoom with these 3 types of questions. Hi, I'm Trevor Bragdon, and today we're going to dive into what are 3 types of questions you can use on your next Zoom call to grab your audience's attention and pull them in. Now, we've all been on a lot of boring Zoom calls over the last year. And in fact, our company, we've had to teach a lot of classes live online. But one of the ways you can increase engagement and then also get people more involved is to use different questions to grab people's attention. So I'm going to break down 3 different questions we've used in the last year that drive attention and get your audience engaged in listening to what you have to say. The first one is countdown questions. Now, a countdown question is like this. What you do is you start out by asking a simple question that can be answered in just a single sentence or maybe just typing in a number or something into the chat. So you set it up and you ask a question like, what number president was Barack Obama? So everyone goes and they start typing into the chat, 45th president, 46. But you tell everyone to wait. And you say, no one hit enter. We're gonna hit enter when we count down. And so people kind of think it's a little weird at first, and then they start to kind of get into it. And you're like, all right, we want to just see if you can all do this at once. You say, all right, what we're going to do is everyone type it in, and then on the count of 3, I want everyone to hit enter. So you go 3, 2, 1, enter. And then all of the responses pour through. This works really well for 2 reasons. First, it gets everyone to participate, so you overcome that fear of you're going to be the only one typing in the answer. The second way is there's a bit of fear of missing out. If everyone else is doing it, people want to participate. And you've made it just slightly fun and kind of enjoyable to try it out just once. Plus, it's kind of cool to see all the responses fill up in the chat all at once. Now, I learned this tip from Ali Abdaal, a doctor and YouTuber, when he used it in his own class. So be sure to try it out. Use a countdown question. Just ask people a question, say, go ahead, type it in the chat, but don't hit enter. And then count down and hit enter all at once. The next question is a focus question. Focus questions are a type of question designed to get your audience to think about the topic before you teach it. Now, for most of us, we don't really pay attention until we know we need to learn something. And a lot of times we overestimate how much we know about a topic. Like if I was to ask you to draw a bike, you'd probably say, I'd be pretty good at drawing a bike. But then when you sat down to actually do it, likely you'd forget some important part. Maybe you'd forget the chain, or maybe you'd forget a pedal, or maybe you'd forget the seat. These different things that when we just think and estimate what we know about something, we tend to overestimate it. So what you can do with a focus question is ask a question that gently exposes a knowledge gap or an information gap that the audience has with the topic. So in our fundraising training, we have a section where we talk about how to grow your fundraising. But a lot of times, people think they know already how to grow fundraising. So what we do at the beginning of that section is we ask a question. We say, think about the next 3 years. Write down some strategies on how you would double your fundraising. And what happens is people actually struggle to answer that question. So they realize, maybe I don't quite know as much about how to grow my fundraising in a systematic way. So then when we get to that content and we go into that information, they're leaning in and listening more intently because we've shown them very gently and in a private, confidential way that they have some gaps in knowledge. Now, you need to be careful with these focus questions. You don't do them in a public setting. You don't have them type it in the chat and answer it because you don't want people to be embarrassed. That's the last thing, and that will get people defensive and not listening to you. So you want to think of, how can I ask this question in a way that gets people to think about the topic and also realize, maybe there's a little bit more I need to know about what's going to be talked about right now. The next type of question is the survey countdown question. A survey countdown question is simply getting your audience to answer a quick 1, 2, or 3 question survey quickly by posting the survey link in the chat and then posting a timer or sharing a screen and showing a quick countdown timer. So how this works is if you're doing a presentation that you're going to give multiple times, getting some immediate feedback from your audience on what works and what could be improved helps you rapidly improve that class each time you teach it. So what you can do with a survey countdown timer is do this. You just say, hey guys, I really appreciate everyone being so great on this class, and I want to ask you if you can do me a personal favor. We improved this class by getting feedback from all our students. So I'd ask you, can you take this anonymous survey and just answer 2 questions? What worked really well in this class and was helpful? And then what could we improve? It'll just take 90 seconds to do. I'm gonna put a quick timer up on the screen here. And if you'd click the link in the chat and just take 90 seconds and answer this, it would really help us both improve this class, but also make it better for the next students and get feedback on what didn't work for you so we can clarify that. Thanks a lot. And then you hit enter, so you put the link in the chat, and then you turn on the countdown timer, and when people come back, you thank them for their time, and you'll find about 70 to 80% of your participants will do the survey, and you'll get back some great results on what worked, but you'll also get feedback on what you could improve. So try this on your next Zoom call. Test out one of these questions, engage your audience, and get them to listen to the important things you need to say.